a Lutheran minister during the time of the buildup before World War II in Nazi Germany stated, "First they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me." This is today's modern day age of social media and freedom of speech. First, they came for Milo. Then they came for Alex Jones. Then they progressed and progressed and progressed and axed out everybody on the fringe along the way. And the fringe eventually started to come towards the middle, like carving up a ham. Every time you slice, you get closer to the middle, to the point where today, my YouTube station is definitely sitting on the precipice, soon to be gone. So please, by all means, join me on BitChute. The link is in the description. And if you like this video, by all means, thumb it up, turn that blue. Have fun smashing that like button and changing the color. Thumb it up. If you have a comment, leave it. Nevertheless, as I stated, I am definitely on the edge of the precipice. They keep slicing off the edges until they come towards the middle. And it happens. And guess what? Ron Paul, the 85-year-old libertarian who advocates for a physical metal like gold or silver backing a currency, who was a congressman for years, was suspended from managing his Facebook page because he was critical of the censorship of Donald Trump by both Twitter and Facebook. They suspended him. He had never received a warning before. He just found access to his page gone. So now they're coming for Ron Paul. You realize that Brett Weinstein, the professor at the center of the Evergreen University controversy, when he was run out of the school and he had his Articles of Unity account suspended from Twitter. And Articles of Unity, for those of you not aware, was a politically centrist alternative to either the Democrat or the Republican Party, where they would take a Republican or somebody who is center-right and center-left and then have a ticket with them alternating the presidency every year. That was the theory, and it was supposed to help rid ourselves of the polarization. We were supposed to help melt, and they were banned for Twitter for no real justification. The account remains banned. His own Facebook page that he claims on his podcast, because I listened to it, that he barely used, also was banned. I realize that this is not supposed to be about Brett Weinstein, but Ron Paul. But nevertheless, the point being is the fact that they are coming for everybody who disagrees with their monolithic viewpoint of the world. And this is what we need to avoid. So I've been warning about this for a long time. And this is why we have to adhere to freedoms of the principle of freedom of speech. Because the principle of freedom of speech, as I said, you have a public square. That used to be a physical thing where you could go and you could shout to your heart's delight and the government could not censor you. Today, the public square is on the private digital platforms of these ginormous multi-billion, sometimes trillion-dollar technology companies. And in order to reach the same number of people and be on the playing field for your ideas to be able to propagate, you have to, by de facto, be on one of these platforms. And now they are shutting anybody that dissents from the prescribed political opinion. They are removing them. And that definitely is on the right-hand side of the ham and slightly on the left, because they are chipping away at the left-hand side of the ham until everything is the position of the party in power, which is the neoliberal woke-ass position. You realize that Beijing Biden announced that when helping small businesses, they were going to favor those that were black or women or Pacific Islander. Do you think that this is a unifying principle that's going to bind our nation together, actively stating that you're going to commit racism and only help those of a certain color? That is the definition of racism. You are favoring one group because of the color of their skin, because of their ethnicity, rather than treating every American equally. And this is the problem that I'm having, and freedom of speech, the ability to speak out against this, is being demolished. When you can take Ron Paul off of his page for being critical of the social media censorship and deny him access, when you can take somebody as centrist, Brett Weinstein is on the progressive side of the aisles, but his ideas are being defended on the center right, not on the center left, not on the left, because there is no center left. According to them, you're either Antifa supporting or you're a fascist, and there's no alternative. And the middle, once again, is being carved out. And every time they slice the ham and they get closer to the middle and obliterate us all, the precipice grows further backwards, and the rock just dissolves into the ocean. And the amount of land that we can occupy safely diminishes, and society, as a result, suffers. Ron Paul being banned from Facebook. I don't know how many alarm bells need to be raised before the canary in the coal mine is seen as dead, and everybody reacts to this emergency. And the problem is that those on the left, because it's not happening to them yet, largely, are cheering it on. They are actively cheering it on that these Nazis, which they are much closer in terms of their actions than people on the right, get deplatformed, that they get their freedom of speech in today's public square eviscerated. And this is a huge challenge for our nation and for the world. When you can eliminate speech from the most powerful man on earth, Donald Trump, for stating that he created and advanced a violent insurrection, when you go through his speech, there was nothing of the sort. We did. Both me and my wife, who's further on the left than I am by a long shot, both agreed that he stated nothing that explicitly would incite an insurrection and violence. He said that we're going to go over there and cheer them on peacefully. And yet they still eliminate his ability to speak on the public square. Ron Paul, Brett Weinstein, and you out there, you're next. I'm definitely maybe before you, but you are likely right after me. So anyways, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube station or on BitChute, as I mentioned, for however long I'm available on YouTube. And again, thumb up this video, turn that button blue, and have fun.